Hi everyone, it's Mitch from PickDawgz.com, and it is Tuesday, November 26, 2019, here with your free live show. As you say, free live show. Don't know what I would charge if I could, but anyways, do free picks on this show. Of course, we're here 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We've got a ton of college basketball, light on the NBA, few NHL games. I tried to get the Puck Dogs on here. They tried to ring me earlier, and I missed them, and you know how that goes. But, oh no, we can, I can ring you guys in. Here, let's see if we can bring the Puck Dogs in. See if they can make it here. All right, we got Rod. Let's see if Chris is here.
He was there. I seen him type a message. There he is.
All right. I don't see him, though.
I don't see him either. I just see the CR.
Yep. I don't see his picture. I don't see his smiling face. Anyways, we got Rod with us, Puck Dog number one, and Chris is walking to his station. Let's see if we can get him set up. That's a scary view. Thankfully, I'm not showing it to our viewers, but Rod, how's it going? I think you guys hit, like, I don't know, 75 to 80% yesterday or something?
Something like that.
In that range?
In that range or more.
Here's someone's Skype ringing, but I did a few college basketball videos this morning. Hopefully we'll get I'll be able to do a few more this morning when we're done with the show. But the lines coming out late makes it really hard. I think that Michigan State video that I did against Georgia, I'm like half asleep. But hey, I know that everyone appreciates me at least just doing the video, and I know that yesterday my Virginia Tech winner was some of the nicest comments I've ever received on YouTube. It's like, actually, I think 4 people said, wow, this guy won, you know, something like that. So Chris is still journeying through his vast place. He looks asleep, but see if we can wake his ass up. But we're getting some late lines here for these Maui games. How about the Maui games, huh? Pretty exciting day here in Maui. Wow, I did not put you up there. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry.
I don't know what happened there. That's what happens with this thing. There we go. Chris is... I don't know what's it takes Chris longer to set up than it takes for me to move my entire house. Rod, did you get a chance to see any of the action here from my home, Maui? Virginia Tech, Michigan State, or any of those games?
No, I get none of those games.
Oh, they were super exciting. Virginia Tech taking out Michigan State. Just hitting some really clutch shots down the stretch, some big threes by some young players, and you know, we saw a Dayton team just absolutely dominate Georgia, and BYU knocked off UCLA in the nightcap. So, you know, solid basketball all the way around. Of course, yesterday's dog of the day was a winner. Chris, you ready?
Yep, we're good.
All right, we're going to bring Chris on board. A little different view here of the Puck Dogs. I brought the Puck Dogs on with me because we got 3 NHL games, so we're not going to have time to do it. It doesn't make we're just not going to do a show, so I'll just have them on with me here. I'll give out some picks in the regular basketball, in the college hoops, and these guys can do the rest. Your predictions are so great. Wow, I never hear that.
You've never heard that in all the times you've done this?
No YouTube notification. Rod's parlay was a winner, I guess, yesterday. Nice.
It was, yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
we hit that.
So what do you guys see today going on in the NHL? Rod, It's just 3 games on tap.
Big game. Big matchup. Original 6 matchup tonight. Boston at Montreal again.
Okay, and what do we see going on in this one? We know that you can throw the record books out when these two play each other. You know, Boston has been pretty tough this season. Montreal, always tough. I think this team's always. I mean, even when they're bad, they're good.
For me, I'm looking at Price is going to start. Price has been in a little bit of a slump here. He gave up 5 goals, and then he gave huge comeback for the Rangers. He gave up 6 goals to the Rangers on Saturday night. So I'd be leaning to Boston here, and I like the over. Boston and over. The first meeting was 5-4 between these two teams. I see it being pretty close to the same.
Chris, what do you see in this one?
Yeah, you know what? I'm strictly on the over here. I'm trying to pick a side, but I like the over as my best pick here. You know, Yaroslav Halak's going to get the start here, giving up 11 goals in his last 3 road starts. And like Rod said, Carey Price has been in a slump. He's given up 5 or more in 2 of his last 3 starts, including that start against the Rangers. I just think these guys pile on the goals here. I also see a 5-4, 5-3 kind of game.
I'm going to go to the Wyoming versus TCU college basketball matchup, and I just smell a blowout here. This is just not a good Wyoming team. I like TCU minus 14.5. Jamie Dixon's team coming off of that loss yesterday to Clemson. I think they bounce back in this spot. And like I said, Wyoming, just not good. They've played some good teams, but you know, it's one thing to play good teams. It's another thing to show up against them. And Wyoming hasn't done that. So I'm going to take TCU in that game. What else we got on tap here, Chris?
I'm going to go to the Prudential Center. I'm going to look at the Minnesota-New Jersey game. I like the over 5.5. I get both teams are struggling on the season, but they have one thing in common. You know, they have shaky goaltending, and they can't hold a third period lead. So I'm not trying to pick either side in this one. But Minnesota is going to start a goalie tonight, making his first career start. New Jersey, Lockwood stepped up his game, but apparently Dominguez is going to get the start here too. A backup against a guy making his first career start. I like the over.
How about you, Chris? How about you, Rod?
I'm going to be opposite. Dominguez was back up in Tampa Bay, and he his last game out, he played pretty well. He had a good outing and got the win. And goalie coming in for the Wild, he's a Finnish-born goalie. He led the AHL last year with 6 shutouts. So he definitely can play in the pipes. I've seen him play. He won the Finnish juniors a couple years back for the Finland team. But I think Jersey gets to him. So I think we see a battle here, but I think Jersey wins this, and I like the under 6.
It's good. Chris, it's the Wild and over, and Rod Devils and under. So just you guys can't be any more further apart on that game. Might be a good game for the fans to sit and watch. You know, generally when you guys have
that game, I had 5.5. So if it went up to 6, I'd probably leave it low, but I had it at 5.5. So.
No backing down on this show. We take a side and we stick with it.
All right, true. Okay. All right.
What are you, Steve Monahan or something? When I beat him up about Jared Goff a few weeks ago,
it's like, and then he jumped ship. Jump the Goff ship.
he jumped the Goff ship and the Trubisky ship. We walked him right off the plank on those. The Jared Goff show last night. The Sharps absolutely pounded. That was one of those games, you know, sometimes the Sharps are just so off. Everyone's like, oh, the Sharp money is on this. That's such a square play. Yeah. The Ravens looked pretty square until they kicked the ball off, right? I mean, it was over before it started. When the Ravens marched down the field on that first drive, oh my, it was over. And I think that it's pretty safe to say it's Lamar Jackson's MVP to lose this year. This guy playing like he has a point. I like quarterbacks generally that are drafted late. I love the Lamar Jackson pick at the time. I know a lot of people were super critical of it, thought he could never play quarterback in the NFL. I was a big backer of the pick and said that he was the future of that franchise. I love quarterbacks that are taken late. I think that generally, if you're the first overall pick and you're a quarterback, you're good, but not always. But if you're a quarterback taken to the back end of the first round, there's so many of those that have done really well. And Dan Marino was the second to last player taken in the first round. Lamar Jackson in that spot, and Aaron Rodgers taken in the 20s. It's like that's where the value is, and that's what separates the great teams and the great general managers from the also-rans. Anyone can pick first, and when the number one pick is Peyton Manning, it doesn't take a lot of skill, But to say, you know what, I think I can make this Lamar Jackson work in the NFL, and the whole strategy, the whole offense around it. I mean, people are gonna figure it out, but I already know the answer. I already know the answer, and I guess those defensive coordinators, they don't watch our show, and that's the problem. What you do is you take a cornerback and put him at middle linebacker and a couple steps off the line where he's not going to get crushed by the guard, right? And you put him at middle linebacker to just basically spy Jackson. You can't spy him with the linebacker, unless there's a few that can do it. But I mean, this guy's so fast. You have to take, like, if you're the Bengals, you have John Ross, right? Wide receiver. You put him there, right? I mean, as safety or something, where they can't get to him, but he's fast enough to get up to the line to get him. If he does try and do those things, it will not work anymore if they do that. It won't, because it'll take away his running ability.
All these people calling for they're going to win the Super Bowl. They still have to go through New England.
No, I think the Super Bowl is very much looking like the Seahawks and the Ravens. I think it's very much looking like that. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm a New England fan, and the Ravens scare me.
Yeah.
So,
I think what happens, and I talked about it with Steve Monahan on the show, and I talked him off the Eagles when I was saying this with the Seahawks, is that. And the Ravens have the exact same thing, where it's like you have a team of good players, a lot of guys that were not really taken all that high in the draft. You have your first-round picks and your guys that were taken fairly high, but you have a lot of guys in the middle rounds and a lot of guys that are free agents. But everybody on that team has 100% faith in the guy standing next to him. And when everybody buys into every player on that team, then you got a team. And when you have that, in the NFL, it is very, very, very hard to beat. And we've seen it over the years. We've seen teams that are less talented than other teams that have that, next man up. And, that's why is Mike Tomlin, still the coach in Pittsburgh after all these years? Because he always says the same thing when anybody gets injured, we always are next man up, It's like that's the environment that he fosters. So when he has a guy like Antonio Brown that is not, someone the other players want to be around, no matter what his numbers are, he's got to go. And it's like when you have the ability to do that. The Patriots are the same way. That the Patriots, it's more like we believe in the system, and we know that if we do our job and we are in the right place at the right time, then it's going to make it difficult for other teams. The Ravens and the Seahawks have it where they believe in each other. And I think the Patriots believe in each other, but they more believe in Belichick's system. They're buyers into the system. But when the Seahawks and the Ravens, these are guys that say, this guy right next to me, he's fully capable of beating, everybody. And it's like they all believe that. But anyways, it's a whole nother story. But I just thought it was interesting. I just thought it was interesting last night that the Sharps were on the Rams, and they just got. It's always fun when there's this sharp play like that, right? And it just gets slaughtered. I mean, it wasn't like, it got edged out, and like the Super Bowl, the guy dropped the ball. The Rams were the sharp play in the Super Bowl, right? And the guy drops the ball in the end zone, and these other things happen. A bad call early in the game that kind of swings field position. A lot of things like that happened in the Super Bowl. In this game last night, it was like men against boys. I mean, it was a slaughter. I mean, that was like.
Wasn't even close.
It was never. If it was a fight, they would have stopped it. Let's get on. I'm ready to give out another pick here. I was looking at the Yale-Bucknell game. I really like Yale this season. Bucknell has been a team that I've been on for a long time and a lot of years. They've always played well, flying under the radar. When you have these Ivy League teams or a Bucknell, which is basically an Ivy League team. I don't know if they're in the actual Ivy League or not, but they're basically in that type of team. You have guys that are there for 4 years, and when you have 4-year guys, these are guys that kind of built through the program, and they all play together for a long time, and you kind of get that whole teamwork makes the dream work thing going on, and the precision passing, and they get the ball to the. It's like they call it smart play, because they get the ball to the guy that's open, and the guy's able to take the shot and hit it. And of course, when they had Makai Mason, it really helps that guy, right? But the thing about this Yale team is that they've played against the tough of the tough competition, and they haven't laid down against anybody. And I just think here against Bucknell, that experience against the tough competition, it comes in handy. We're laying 4.5 points here with Yale. It's an afternoon game. I like Yale in this one. You guys want to get to the last hockey game here of the day?
Okay, the last hockey game is in Chicago. Dallas in Chicago. Dallas playing 3 games, their third game in 4 nights. So a little bit of a rigid schedule for them. But they're still playing the Blackhawks, and the Dallas has just been rolling, and they're just like you said, they're all buying into the system, and they're happy. They're happy playing hockey, a team that's enjoying playing hockey, and they're working for each other. So I just couldn't take Chicago here. I got to take Dallas, and I like the over. I think we're going to see some goals here. Everybody's like tired legs. Now I think we're going to get some goals.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm on there as well. I like Dallas minus 120. Stars are on back-to-back, but Dallas won 14 of the last 16 games. You know what? I just can't. But it's like Rod said, you can't go against Dallas here until.
I know it's November, but it's kind of Dallas your team here in the early going, you guys, because I hear a lot of Dallas from you guys.
I think it's just been riding the hot hand. I mean, Dallas has been the hot hand for the month of November. So, I mean, that's probably why you've heard it. But, I mean, it's still, like you said, it's still early. It still can change.
And in hockey, because it's such a long, you got 84 games, you're going to have ups and downs. So you want to get on teams when they're streaking and get off them when they're losing. And right now, Dallas has just been rolling.
I'm also going to look at Dallas minus 1.5 at plus 210.
Dallas minus 1.5 at plus 210?
Yeah.
All right. I'll put that down here. I'm looking at the South Florida New Mexico State game here, and South Florida was absolutely hideous yesterday. We've seen these guys, it's kind of like their football team. We've seen them on both ends of the spectrum. It's hard to figure out, which South Florida team is going to show up. But New Mexico State is a pretty good team. They got the 1-point win over New Mexico, and that's while most people don't know what that means. In general, it's a pretty good thing. New Mexico State 0-2 on the road, but 3-3 straight up. South Florida's 3-2 straight up. New Mexico State has been horrible against the spread, 1-4 against the number, and here they are favored against South Florida. South Florida is averaging only 63 points a game, but allowing 59. You guys know I hate teams that don't play defense in any sport, no matter what the sport is. You can't win if you can't stop people from scoring. You could win a game 1-0, right, in hockey, but you can't win a game 0-1, right? You can't do it. If you can't score, if the other team scores more than you do, you can't win, right? It's like the defense is something, Everybody loves to play offense, right? Everyone loves the goal scorers, right? I mean, who's your favorite Red Wing from back in the day? It's Yzerman, right? The guy who scores all the goals, right? But it's like, they had some pretty good defensemen on that team too. And, you look at, the Avalanche, the Roy team that we talked about yesterday, right? Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, right? They had some pretty good defensemen on that team too. And Patrick Roy, of course, in the goal. So I don't know. I think when you have a team that gives up 59 points a game against a team that gives up 71 points a game, I'll always take my chances with the team that gives up 59. I'll take South Florida in this one against a New Mexico team that doesn't cover. And that's going to be my pick in that one. So you guys have any picks on this college football action tonight? I know we've gone through the hockey. Have you taken a look at I'm kind of putting you guys on the spot. We didn't go through this before the show. I know Chris follows college football pretty well. So throwing out a Northern Illinois, Western Michigan to him isn't going to throw him off track. Chris, any thoughts on this Northern Illinois +9? The line has jumped from 7 to 9. Northern Illinois 4-7. This is it. This is their season. This is all they have to play for. There is no bowl game. It's senior night. 6-5 against the number, up against a Western Michigan team that has been real crap on the road. 1-4, and 1-4 against the number. But the line just moved 2 points this morning. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Western Michigan team that needs a win to have a chance at the MAC West division to play in the championship game against, like you said, a Northern Illinois team. Yeah, Northern Illinois, who's just got nothing to play for. This is it for them. So
I think Western Michigan. Right?
Yeah, I think Western Michigan's just going to play not to lose. And I think Northern Illinois is going to step up a little bit here, so I could see it being within a touchdown. So I would take the points with Northern Illinois.
Yeah. How about you, Rod? Any thoughts here?
That's going to be a tight game. So I like the under. I like the under in that game tonight.
Any weather going on there?
It looks like it's rainy and 44.
Oof. I like Northern Illinois in this one. I just think on senior night, you have these college players. It's their last time they're ever going to be playing organized football. They know it. They're home. Their parents are there. It's a big deal. You know, these MAC weekday games really lousy this year. Sometimes we just have great games and big upsets and all that stuff, and we just haven't seen a lot of it this season. But I think this is one of those spots. You know, Western Michigan, they haven't traveled well, and 9 points is a ton. So I'm going to take Northern Illinois also. All right, well, I guess that wraps up our show. We don't have a lot to talk about here. I have tons of video picks. I'm going to do more after this show. I've already done 4 this morning, and I'm going to do 4 more right after the show. And then I'm also going to post my college basketball premium picks. I didn't post any of those yet this morning. So we'll go back over it. I took TCU, Yale, and South Florida in college basketball, Northern Illinois in college football. Chris took the over in the Devils game. The Wild, is that under or over?
No, over.
Or just the Wild? Wild. He took the Dallas Stars. He also thinks the puck line at +210. A lot of value there. Rod took the over and Montreal in that Boston game. They both took that, actually.
I took Boston.
All right. Rod took Boston. How about you, Chris? Who did you take?
I like the over.
You like the over, right? That's what I have here.
Yeah.
All right. Chris took the over. Rod took Boston. See, I put them both in the same column there. But and then Rod took New Jersey and the under. Dallas and the over, and then under 51 in tonight's college football game. Yeah, I'm going to be adding college basketball premium picks right after, within the hour. So be on the lookout. Anyways, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Randy Chambers types in here. Northern Illinois, 11-1-1 against the spread in their last 13 games as a home dog. There it is. You heard it here. You heard it here. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tuesday's my afternoon off. My one day. I got packed. I can't even tell you what packed my schedule is today. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. As you can see, I'm wiped out, tired. Have a great day.
Yeah.